Guess what, folks? A little bird just landed and told me you guys like mint. So guess what we doing? We doing Oreo mint cheesecake. Oh, and did I say it's no bake? Let's get it. Okay, folks, then look, we finna go over these ingredients, right? Now, you guys see there's a few ingredients. Don't forget the full ingredient list is on our website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com. And don't forget that's WITAB.com, right? Look, the reason I'm holding this is a spring farm pan. This is a must-have. This is gonna get us through the holiday. To be honest with you, it's gonna get us through the rest of the year. And I'm finna start making a lot more cheesecakes, folks. Now, you see the ingredients, don't let this overwhelm you or nothing like that. One of the things that's gonna make your life real easy, and I think it's just about everybody has one, and that's one of these food processors. This right here is gonna play key. You guys are gonna like the way that I go ahead and set up everything for the chocolate. We finna have a good time, and don't forget, it's holiday time, right? We got a family there, so it's really about that presentation and good food. All right, so look, I'm gonna start by showing these. Just in case you guys didn't know, they do sell mint Oreos, right? Now, you guys can make them out of regular Oreos too, but this is where we're gonna start. I'm gonna use about 20, 22 of these, right? We just stick them in here. And remember when I was telling you guys to go ahead and, I would like to see everybody have one of these, food processing. Can you imagine us breaking these down, getting this real fine? So what we're gonna do first is make that crust. Now, once you have it, loaded up, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna use the puree function. You see how that is in there? That's what you want, right? And it's a little bit on the dry side. I didn't want to keep going. Why? Because now this is where you want to add your butter, right? And then we're gonna work that in. That's gonna be, what that does is, it makes it a little bit damp, brings that flavor of the butter, and it makes it where we can pack it down. You'll see. Now remember we talked, when I said that it could be packable, right? With the butter, watch this. When I squeeze this together, see how they stay together? That's what I mean. Nice, damp, buttery, and it'll hold its shape. Now I'm gonna show you a little pro tip that I learned. This might not be a pro tip for them all. I put a piece of parchment paper down, right? Put this over the bottom ring. I put this over here like this. Nothing leaks out. Helps to seal. But most importantly, it'll help this move and transfer so that I can get this out of here without it sticking to the bottom. Let me go ahead and get my crust just like you guys see, right? So I'm gonna bring this and just do it like this. You can see where the butter really went down toward the bottom, right? But that's okay. Just watch it when you get ready to eat though. All right, so this is what I want to show you guys. Now when you put it in there, it's gonna be all kind of triangles, broke down. All of it's nice and damp, right? I like to get myself I want to get myself something like this right here, a little flat bottom, right? I wish the glass didn't taper down at the bottom. You know what I mean? So what I do is I just take it and just go around like this. And listen, I gave you guys the ingredients as far as the butter. Don't overdo it. I done that before too. You end up with a mess. This is what you want to have. After you pack it down, this right here is what you get. You know what I mean? Don't forget we had the butter. We already did, those are whole Oreos. You know what I mean? I'm gonna grab another one, so don't forget, the mint is inside of there too. So this is just, already your brain should just be making your mouth water. Now look, the next thing we're gonna do is you want to get yourself one of these Ziploc bags, right? I like to do the Oreos inside here, right? This is gonna be part of our filling. Now you want to set yourself up. Look, we got a bowl, put a little water down the bottom so I can get some steam. Make sure that the bowl that you put on top of that is able to, fit on top and not be touching your water, right? This is how we're gonna melt our chocolate. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to pitch some fire underneath the bottom here, right? I'm gonna start off on high because I want to get this to hurry up and roll and boil, right? Now, you guys can act like you don't see this right here, but check this out. Look, I got these aprons right here. Listen, if you guys get an apron from me, I went through all of the trouble to fix it up. Like, remember, about 3 years ago, I was doing cutting boards. They were customizable. You put your name, right? Now we can put our name, 3 different fonts. You know what I mean? I could do, several different colors. Right now I'm doing white and I'm doing like a gold, but I even got the white down here in the bottom. So you get one of these, just go to my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com, check it out. Let me know, get yours. The holiday is coming, protect your clothes, and let's see. Now as we build up heat there, I can look, because you'll see condensation, which is like the steam on the bottom of that, right? You can actually put your hand on it, you can feel it, it's starting to, heat up. Speaking of that, let's just go ahead and drop this in the like Oreo Ziploc. Right? Look at this. That's why I didn't use my food processor, right? We just want to get a little bit, some small cream. This is it right here. Now check this out. This part is done. All right, so I want you guys to pay attention. Look at this right here. Ooh, wee. Look at that. But we're going to add something to it, right? I'm going to add this a little bit of butter. Here I got a little heavy cream. right? I need to get all of that heavy cream in there. So we just stir this around and get this mixed up. So I'm gonna take this off. And yes, it is a little warm, but you can see white chocolate is melted, it's not getting hard. This is what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna make this filling, right? Remember, room temperature, folks. If you don't, you're gonna work, you're gonna regret it. If you got a room temperature, you'll see everything just really nice. Right, so this is my food coloring. We're just gonna put about 7 or 8 drops. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. And now for the mint. Let me just open this up. Just use about a teaspoon. That's it. You wanted to have that flavor, right? Here we got a little powdered sugar, right? So we'll take this powdered sugar and just add just a little bit of it. You know what I mean? I don't like to add everything right off the bat. You know what I mean? Now we're gonna go ahead and use our hand mixer. Remember, if it's at room temperature, look at that right there. Like I said, I like to do mine in increments, you know what I mean? So I did everything really in halves. Half of the powdered sugar, first half of the cream cheese, now the second half, right? Now we'll get in here. Let's turn this back on. Remember, slow is better. You know what I mean? Just put it on top. Look how it just melts in between them blades. Now we just work all of this in. Now, once you got it like that, that's what you want to have. That's going to be our filling, folks. Now, as you can see, look, a lot of our ingredients are going, right? I brought this back into play because this is my melted chocolate, you know, my white chocolate, right? We just mix this, cream cheese, you know, powdered sugar, right? And the dyes. Now, when it comes to this, your heavy cream, we're just going to add about a half of it in here. So it'll be about a cup you want to add. And all I do is, we're going to go about a medium speed, right? Once I start seeing those air bubbles, I'll go ahead and just add the rest. We just want to do it about here, about halfway, for about a couple of minutes really. Then after that, then we're going to go ahead and raise it up on high. We're going to do that for about 2 minutes or so. And if you guys pay attention, look, having this apron on protects your clothes. You see how this shows the whips? Look at that. All right, follow my arm. That's what you want. All right, so now you can see what we really made was whipped cream. You know what I mean? For those of you guys that bake, you all know. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my white chocolate to here. All right? And then I'm just gonna take this and now just start flavoring this in. I didn't want to use a mixer to lose all of my hair, right? Now after you got this completely folded in the way you want it to be, you see it's mixed. You remember this green filling? We gotta get that in there too, folks. And then from here on, it's pretty self-explanatory now, folks. You kind of like just mix this inside. All right, so you guys can look at this color right here. You tell me, does that look like it's mint to you? If you ask me, I'm gonna say that's spot on with the color. Now, if you look at this part right here, remember these? Now we're gonna add these, right? Because it is a mint Oreo, am I correct? Now you can see how this filling is, right? Now we bring it all together and bring this all back into plate, right? You see that chocolate chip in here? You know this gonna be good, folks. Now, this is what you want to come up with. You can do the top how you want to. You can get it with the peaks. I just try to get it like as if it was an ice cream cake, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick it in the refrigerator. You can go 4 hours, but I'm gonna come back tomorrow. You know what I mean? And we're gonna do it tomorrow, right? But just to give you guys an idea, we're gonna put these down. But before we do that, I got some whipped cream that I, bought from the store. I'm gonna make a few of these, put these right on top. Once it come out of the refrigerator, we're gonna garnish with a little bit of this powdered sugar, and then I'm gonna go ahead and melt a little bit so I can get my drizzle on. Hey, that being said, listen, I'll check you guys out in the morning. Okay, everybody, so listen, it's day number 2. I still got the cheesecake. It's in the inside of the refrigerator still, right? I already brought my water up. I already brought my water to a boil, as you guys can see. Before I take it out of the refrigerator, I want to go ahead, once I reach a boil, I'm gonna go ahead and make an adjustment, and then we're gonna start melting our chocolate, right? Now it's getting ready to move real fast. I went overnight. You guys can go a minimum of 4 hours, but for me, for best result, I like to let it sit in the refrigerator for overnight. All right, so you guys can see that steam, it keeps everything from burning. That's why we do it that way. You can see it's even the steam coming up on the side, starting to melt that. But you see how it's working its way down? I'm gonna go ahead and just help it. Now, I always like to add just a little bit of heavy whipping cream or something like that to it, just to make it I don't know, it seemed like it'd help it from like getting hard again, you know? But you can put it on here, you know, just melt your chocolate and do it that way. That's an option too. But right now, we need to just let it continue to work, right? So what I'm gonna do now is remove this out of the foam pan, right? The spring foam pan. So you guys know how they work. You just hit them like this, you know what I mean? And hopefully this right here just comes off like it's supposed to. All right, now that we got that off, I want you to pay attention to the sides. You guys can get yourself really like a butter knife or whatever. You can come across this on the side, work your way down the back way just to clean it up. You know, this is really just for the presentation, right? And if you want to do something on the edge, you can. You know, I'm not, I don't want to say like, hey, listen, some skills I have, some I don't, you know what I mean? But for here, I just don't bake enough. I would love to really have a baking channel, you know? All right, now let's go ahead and address that elephant in the room, right? That'll be this parchment paper. Now, you know we got that spring form pan, that bottom down here. Check this out. I can move this now and move this off and transfer this to anywhere I want to. Now, if you guys come on in here, look at this, look. Right, but it's a little bit on the thick side. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of my heavy cream to it, just a little bit at a time, right? Then we're gonna continue to let that stay under the heat. You know what I mean? If you would like, you can add yourself a little butter in here. You know what I mean? You see how that is right there? Look at that. We done there. Now we got these 10, this is what I call for, I think it calls for, if you look in the recipe, look, 10 Mint Oreo, you know, cookies, right? So since we got 10, I'm just gonna take this and just make 10, 8, and because it looked crazy, we're gonna go with 9. And then the rest of this is like real easy, folks. You just want to put it in there inside the whipped cream, and then once you go into the body of it, just push down on it just a little bit so it'll stand up, and there you have it. Seeing how we're supposed to have 10, guess what? That one's for me, chef choice. All right, folks, so look, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more of this powdered sugar on the top. You know what I mean? Look at that right there. Yeah. And don't forget, we melted some chocolate, right? Now, if this is not no-bake Mint Oreo chocolate, well, really, it's just a Mint Oreo no-bake cheesecake, right? Quit trying to make it into something that it's not, right? I'm gonna go ahead and use my little crafty tools right here. Oh yeah, and if you guys wanna know, did it melt right? Remember, I didn't say this, but I should have said this in the beginning. You really want to have a lot of butter. You just want to keep adding butter. That's what keeps it. See how it doesn't harden up? I just leave it over the, the heat. You know what I mean? And we go from there. Now, these are my garnish tools. Now we're finna go ahead and just drizzle a little bit of this on here like this. You guys tell me, would you want some of that? Hey, I don't even know what to say. Hey, you see it? You know what I mean? And I got it, a channel called Smoking and Grilling with AB, out here doing things like this. But listen, when you enjoy being in the kitchen and doing some cooking, whether it's outside, whether I'm smoking, you know what I mean? If it's you guys, you know what I mean? We just got the passion for creating something good. Now, I'm not finna over talk it. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit this just like you see. And then I wanna show you one thing after I did that. Look at that crust. If you guys wanna add more cookie in the beginning when we make the crust, you can make that even thicker. You know what I mean? But, oh my goodness, I can barely talk. Oh man. Cheers, y'all. Oh yeah. You're really gonna enjoy that crust. Now, man, that's right there, fire. Now I made this about 3 or 4 times already in the past. I actually made a video before files got corrupted. I was supposed to make this for somebody. Man, they've been asking for this for about 4 years. You know what I mean? Here it is, folks. I want you guys to enjoy it, and I'm gonna answer that question you always, I know everybody thinking, it is not over the top with the mint. You know what I mean? It's just a nice blend. Took a minute to get it right. Now that I got it right, please try this. Now, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and just go out and tell everybody. Listen, There's a channel out here to simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And if you ain't got one of these aprons with your custom name, what you waiting on? I'm out.